it was okay to have like basic marketing because we had that algorithm magic, and we didn't have to necessarily cut through the noise because the algorithm was doing this for us. Okay, as we know, Facebook was collecting data not just about what we're doing on Facebook, but also what we're doing off Facebook, and therefore they knew everything about everyone. And so it was so easy for us just to put like a video message there and cut through and connect to that person. On top of that, we didn't have to compete with big business for the attention, right? Because even if you're selling art supplies and you've got big business talking about something completely different, like, I don't know, promoting the news or promoting, weather, or promoting even like unrelated fashion products or whatever that is competing for the attention of your buyer. So in e-commerce, we used to do that. We used to just have simple marketing, and we used to utilize that Facebook old magic, but that no longer works. So an ad used to look something like this. We've got one offer, we broadcast, we send it to the magic audience based on the magic algorithm from Facebook, and often the winner, particularly for big business, would be attraction on price, right? So these ads are quite simple, like, hey, Lauren and Jane, we've got 60% off everything, or Gap, hey, come in and get our jeans or whatever that is. Very, very simple, relatively generic broadcast. But all of that has changed, right? Because Facebook stopped collecting the data, and we lost that signal of understanding who is who once they were outside of the Facebook platform. And as a result, all of this has changed. So at this point, I knew that I had to find a new way, right? And I started to search on how do other successful businesses do that, because as I was aware of the fact that, hang on a minute, it is a $4.8 trillion industry. We've never had so much engagement on social media platforms, and we never had so many users actually buying products from that platform. So I was like, okay, so what is it that all of these businesses do intelligently? What does this model look like in e-commerce? All of these really smart business owners, like, how is it that they're crushing it? And so I started to put together pieces of the puzzle of what became e-commerce. And what I found out was that in e-commerce, all of the successful businesses were not actually doing the push stuff. Instead, what they were doing, they were actually pulling customers towards them instead of like pushing a message on them. So in other words, they were not speaking to everyone, but they had a super crystal clear message that was speaking to a very, very, very specific audience, okay? So essentially, it's a crystal clear message that speaks to a very specific audience. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples here. At first glance, they might look similar to the old way, but I'll show you how they are very, very, very different. Who wants to see some examples? Let me know. I'll have a sip of water and you guys let me know who wants to see some examples. I want to make sure that you guys are still there and that we are learning some ninja skills together, because guys, this is super important. Obviously, we know that the old way does no longer work. So I really want you guys to crush it here. Me, great. Couple more. Yes, please, me. Amazing. Okay, so you guys are still here. That's wonderful, because I really want to make sure that we are progressing somewhere here, and that you can utilize all what we're going to learn today to really transform your ads. Definitely. Amazing. Great. So the first example, guys, was a startup, e-commerce startup that revolutionized the shaving industry. Okay, it was not for everyone, definitely not for everyone, but a super specific audience. This business is called the Dollar Shaver Club. Their revolutionary approach was that they found out a gap on the market. There was a huge growing market with, obviously, women and men use shavers, both of them, right? But there was a specific type of a market where customers wanted their products to be delivered to their home. And also they were daring and they demanded equality. Equality was a huge thing for their female customers. Female customers were like, hey, I don't want to pay more for a shaver just because I'm a woman, right? Like, who's here seen all of the studies that were like, as soon as a shaver is pink, it's marketed to the female market and it's like 20% more expensive than the male one, although it might not even be the same quality. Like, have you guys seen that? If you haven't seen it, like, look it up. Like, it's a real thing. I spent quite a bit of time doing the research, and unfortunately that is the truth, right? Like, sometimes there is like a female product that's the same or even like a lower quality than the male product, and it's like marketed as a female product, and suddenly it's like, oh, this is a specific female product, it's like 15 or 20% more expensive, right? All of the ladies in the room, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, you guys might not know, boys might not know, but ladies know what we're talking about because we live it and breathe it every single day. And so this is what they came up with. Like, hey, we've got the best shaver, whether you are a man or a woman. I honestly don't care. I know that you don't care for pink, because so many women don't care for pink, right? They just care for the shaver to be good. And they didn't mind being daring. They didn't mind with this message to cut through. And they knew that their customer really, really cared for equality. Guys, these are the results that they generated. Okay, in 3 months, they generated 12,000 orders. Sorry, the 12,000 orders was within the first 48 hours. And they actually shut down their server because it got overloaded. Shut down the server because they got overloaded, because they knew exactly what the message needs to be, one specific thing their customer cares about, and they just laser focused on that angle and that particular customer. Let me show you another example. Guys, have any of you heard of Ladyboss? Have any of you heard of Ladyboss? They are a weight loss company, and besides the weight loss programs, they do things like shakes and lots of e-commerce products like the fashion line and shakes and all that type of stuff. Yes, just says yes, we heard of them. So let me show you another example of Ladyboss and how amazing it is. That's, by the way, a privately owned company that has been built from nothing to, I'll show you the numbers in a moment. You're going to be like, what? These guys have built this from nothing, and they're literally like, she's in her early 30s. He's in his late 20s. They've got 2 little kids, and they built this from scratch only because they specifically speak to the customer with a specific message. So this ad is, by the way, a recent ad that's still running on Facebook now. You can have a look inside the Facebook ads library. This ad is brilliant. Why is it brilliant? Because this ad sells weight loss shakes, but this ad is not about weight loss shakes at all. It's about the thing every mom struggles with, and that's me time. Have we got any moms, wives, sisters in the room? Do let me know, guys. And those of you particularly who've got more kids or even just one, you know that it's all about somebody else's problems, right? You know that in a family, it's all about like, let me care about somebody else's problems, not necessarily about mine. So this whole ad is about like the problems that moms have, which is like running around everybody else. When you think you have a me time, suddenly you get a call from the daycare that the child has just like vomited on itself, and you have to run there and pick up the kid. And, then suddenly you go and do the washing, but then you realize you're missing the washing powder because the husband has forgotten to buy some. Then you are like on the way to work and you get a phone call and it's like, hey, honey, do you know where is my jumper? Because I just cannot find my jumper. And it's like, it's right there where it always is. And that's exactly what this ad is all about. It's not about weight loss shakes. Do you guys starting to get this? Okay, Hania, yes, yes, and yes. Yes, I love that. So she is speaking to moms specifically. Okay, she's addressing the big problem, which is me time. She doesn't even talk about weight loss shakes until like the last 10 seconds of the ad. Do you guys starting to get the point? Like she's connecting, she's cutting through. She's cutting through without having to compete with big business because she's clear on who that person is, who she's speaking to exactly, what exactly they care about, and what their problems are. Not what her problems are, what their problems are. Now, I want you guys to see these results just right here. They hit 32 million in sales. This is a privately owned company. This is, guys, not a big business. They are not a big business. They're a privately owned company. She's 32. He's, I think, 28. They've got 2 little kids. She's got a toddler and I think a 3 months old. Like, only thing is they're speaking to the right person, okay? And they're selling e-commerce products. Wow, that's wow.